My name's Lori Alexander, and over the years, I've had women write to me wanting to know what normal sex should look like. And the reason they do this is because pornography has completely corrupted the marriage bed, in my opinion. When I was growing up, we didn't hear about oral sex or anal sex or BDMS or any of that stuff. Couples got married and they experimented together, the ones who love the Lord and his ways. Of course, fornication was going on, as in all generations, but it wasn't talked about openly what was going on in secret. And as it is today, there was no pornography at the click of a switch. It was hard to get to. You could get the Playboy magazines or Playgirl, but in order to get the videos of pornography, you had to go into raunchy stores and get them. You couldn't just click on the computer and have massive amounts of sites that had pornography as we do in today's age. And when I was dating, we didn't have to ask the guys you're dating, when was the last time you looked at porn? Because porn back then was just naked women's bodies. That was it. And most guys probably had looked at that because males are attracted to the female body. Boys that were taught by their parents to flee it hopefully did, but some still were curious. And so the majority of guys saw women's naked bodies, but it wasn't like it is today. Today, they watch couples having sex and perverted sex and 50 Shades and all this garbage, which I've never had any interest in at all because I knew it was so destructive. I knew it was Satan and a tool of his to destroy people and relationships and marriages. So nowadays you have to teach your sons to flee pornography because it's destructive, and your daughters, apparently, I guess a lot of women are getting involved in pornography too, which is so odd to me. It's so unnatural for women to want to watch that. I know this is not popular among some people, but women are not typically as visually stimulated as men. Women want sex for the companionship, for the love, for the feelings, not just for sex. We are created differently. So women write to me and ask me, what is normal sex these days? Because nowadays, people will say that oral sex is in the Song of Solomon, but it's not. My husband went to seminary in the early 1980s, and there was no commentaries that said that oral sex was part of. There was no commentaries that said that oral sex was part of the marriage bed. Those verses didn't mean that. That's just something that's been recent, that's been injected into the Song of Solomon. And there's a problem with oral sex when women come to me and tell me that's all their husbands want is oral sex, and it's just about them and their pleasures, because a lot of women, I don't think, enjoy it as much as men. I'm not sure. I don't poll women about this or talk to them about it. And then there's anal sex, which is dangerous. It's not to be, it's the wrong hole. It's not to be partaken of in a Christian marriage. My dad was a doctor his whole life, a pathologist, and I asked him what he thought about anal sex, and he said it's like if you like to play in the sewer. It causes disease, it destroys the anus. It's not what Christian couples should participate in. BDMS, no, sex is supposed to be a loving, mutual act that glorifies God. We're to enjoy each other's bodies, husband and wife, in the marital bed, exploring what each other enjoys as long as it's not harmful or evil or wicked, and just learn what pleases the other. And men and women who have not been exposed to porn can enjoy this, can just enjoy each other's body. They don't need new and weird and awful and destructive things to turn them on and enjoy sex. They can just enjoy each other's body because they love each other and they want to please each other. Back to oral sex, I'm not saying that it's harmful or wrong. That's between a husband and a wife, but it's not in Song of Solomon. And it should be when both partners desire it. And if a husband wants it, I tell a wife, try to please him in that area, but it shouldn't be something that's daily and all the time and that's all they do. It's just not. It should be enjoyment for just normal sex, just intercourse to create babies. God created sex for babies, to create babies, and to enjoy each other, not to destroy each other or harm each other in any way, women. So if your husband's addicted to porn, pray. This is a spiritual battle for his soul. Pray that the Lord would release him from that addiction, that he would heal his brain from that addiction and that desire for crude and awful things, that he will just love you and want to enjoy you and please you. Because the Bible does say in 1 Corinthians 7 that we are to not deprive each other. Men and women, husbands and wives, are not to deprive each other. And it should just be something that you enjoy, that you love doing with your husband because you love your husband and you want to please him. It shouldn't be something that's ugly and harmful and hurts. And so anyway, if sex does hurt you, get better lubrication, see your doctor if it's something that that even won't solve. But do what you can to learn to enjoy sex. Most of sex does happen in the mind. It's a mindset, deciding that I want to have sex with my husband. I love my husband. I love having sex with him. I love pleasing him in this way. Because sex makes us one flesh. It's something that God designed for the marriage bed only. It's special. Your husband, you are the only one your husband gets to find sexual pleasure in. You're the only one that he should find sexual pleasure in. So do what you can to make sex enjoyable for your husband, and do what you can in your mind to prepare yourself to enjoy sex with your husband. Because the years that you're young, that you really enjoy, are not that long. Once you hit menopause, it becomes harder, but you still do it because you love your husband and you want to be one and you want to obey God. There's numerous reasons that you obey God and you have sex with your husband. But you should have the mindset that it's good and it's lovely and this is what God wants for you, and it's glorifying God when you are enjoying sex with your husband. But you don't need to give in to the pornography of our day and do all the garbage things that they're doing. Don't just flee that stuff. Flee anything that's wicked and evil and against God's plan for the marriage bed. I've linked below in the comment section an article by John Piper that is fabulous about this topic. And I encourage you to all read it and even have your husbands read it if they will. So anyway, flee fornication and love making love to your husband. Bye-bye.